In this episode, I want to talk about something that's happening right now, and that is this crisis with the coronavirus. And you may have already been impacted by it as far as your business or just your life. We all have. But what I wanted to do today is I wanted to do an episode dedicated to really talking about how to maintain and also how to grow, how to thrive your business during crisis. So if that sounds interesting to you, stick around because that's what we're going to talk about in this show. Hey, before we get started, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Also, if you're on YouTube, make sure that you click the little bell icon so you get notified when I go live with a new video. Well, hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Amazing Seller Podcast. This is episode number 808, and this episode is also supposed to be episode, 252 of Ask Scott. Every Friday, I do an Ask Scott session. This is where I field your questions and I give you my answers or at least my thoughts. And today, I am putting that on pause because this here is something that I think needs to be addressed. And you've probably already been, bombarded with how to deal with this, this crisis that we're facing right now. And so I didn't want to leave it unmentioned because, we should mention it. We should think about it, but also we shouldn't just dwell on it. We should start thinking about how can we take not advantage. I guess advantage is a word making it sound like you're going to take an advantage of people or you're going to take advantage of a bad situation. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is whenever we are coasting along, whenever we are just everything is going okay and life is as usual, we just tend to put things off. Now, ask yourself this. Maybe right now you are selling products on Amazon and everything was going great and your sales were going great and everything was awesome. And then this happened and then all of a sudden your sales started to decline, or maybe your supplier wasn't able to get you inventory anymore because, we're not letting shipments come into the United States right now, or Canada, or any other country really that's being affected by this. So ask yourself this, before this all happened, did you think to yourself that, I should probably think about getting another supplier? You probably did, but it wasn't really a pressing issue. Now, if you are dealing with that, you're like, oh my gosh, I got to do this tomorrow, like as soon as I can, or maybe it's too late right now to recover from this. Like all of that stuff starts to really become reality when it is reality, right? So what I want you to do though is I want this to be a wake-up call. This is a wake-up call for me. This is a wake-up call for you. And really the things that I've been talking about, the things that I've been doing, building a brand, building a business, not just dependent on one channel, also lends itself to this crisis. Because right now, if that is you that has been putting it off, I'm going to build my email list. I'm going to get my external traffic going tomorrow. Let this be the time. All right. Now, what I'm going to do here today is I'm going to go over 7 different things that I want you to consider in your business and in your life right now. So I'm going to cover 7 of these, and I want you to think about each and every one of these. Let this be a self-audit, in a sense, of where you are right now in your business and in your life. And the other thing I want to say here is when you are dealing with something like this, you can't overreact, right? And it's actually my first thing that I wanted to talk about here was don't panic, but I'm not going to get ahead of myself here. Let me just share with you really quickly how this has also affected so many other people, but also including myself. Let me give you a quick little story. Now, my wife and I, we were going to be going on our yearly honeymoon. We actually started this tradition last year. Every year, I wanted to go back to Puerto Rico. I started going there last year, and I am part of a mastermind there, Puerto Rico Masterminds. Shout out to those guys. And I had my wife come with me last year. I'm like, if I'm going to go there, I might as well have you come and we'll hang out and we'll have like a honeymoon. And last year was our 25th anniversary. And I said, you know what? We need to make this a tradition. And so we planned it and we've been looking forward to it. So it's kind of like half business, half, vacation in a sense. And we had to cancel that trip. But we waited till like, I don't know, it was like a week and a half before, and it finally came that we were going to cancel. Actually, the event got canceled because, well, we didn't want to get quarantined in Puerto Rico and all of that stuff. So it affected me on a personal level, not even just a business level right now. And I think if you look around or ask people, I'm sure other people are feeling that exact same frustration. But it is what it is, okay? And we can't control that, but what we can control is us and our actions moving forward. All right. So what I want to do here is I want to cover some of these. And again, like I said, this is all about how to grow and how to thrive in a time of crisis like this. All right. And I know it probably seems like a little far-fetched. You're like, Scott, how can that be possible? Think about this for a minute. I bet you if you go back and you retrace your steps back in your journey, and this is something that I talk about in my book, The Take Action Effect. So if you're on YouTube, you're watching me put up the book. If you're listening, you're not being able to see it, but I'm holding my book right now because this right here is exactly what I talk about in the book. There's things in our life that are more or less forcing us, but actually leading us in a certain direction. And that is because a lot of times our feet are up against the fire, our back's against the wall. And in this case, it's very, very similar to that. Right? If you're feeling that, if you're feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm losing my job if you still have one, or oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to pay the bills because I can't get any inventory and my Amazon sales are shut off for the next 30, 60, 90 days, right? So that's what I'm talking about. This right here will probably be a time, actually, it will be a time we'll all remember, but it'll also be probably a pivotal time in your life and in your business. All right. So just remember that. All right. Look at this as opportunity for you to grow. This is opportunity for you to grow. Don't forget that. All right, let's get to it. All right, so number one, like I said, don't panic. Take a deep breath. Make sure that you're safe, your family's safe, your pets are safe, everyone is safe. Make sure that you do your best to really help the situation. If you're listening to this and they're telling you not to go out, don't go out. Right? Let's try to help this thing along. All right. And be smart about it. Okay. But don't panic. Don't overreact. Okay. You got to just start asking questions, and the right questions. All right. Number two, focus on what you can control. Don't worry about what you can't control. Right? We do that a lot as humans, right? We like to worry. We like to play stories in our head of what can happen and what if this happens. And, I'll give you an example. Last year, we did our event, Brand Accelerator Live. First time ever doing that event. And I was doing those stories in my own head. I was playing those stories. What if it doesn't work? What if people don't want to come? What if it's not a good experience? What if I can't deliver on my promise? What if, right? Like that's all I kept saying. And so, I was able to obviously have good people in my life that are able to, and that's another important thing here, having good people in your life, supportive people is huge. If you don't have some of them, start finding them and adding them and inserting them into your life. And it's really, really helpful. But you can get through it. But the thing is these stories will play. Now, what I did is I faced those fears because, again, in my book, I talk about it. I've been going through those things for the rest of my life. No, all of my life up to this point. I will be the rest of my life, and I'm always being led to the next thing. And right now, it's the same thing, right? We're dealing with this uncomfort and this, uncertainty and all of these things that are happening. And it is what it is, right? We're not going to do anything about it other than what are the right questions we can ask ourselves that we can focus on right now. All right. Number three, and this is business related. Okay. I mean, all of it really is. Don't panic in your business. Focus on what you can control in your business. All right. Number three is, and this is something that you need to start now. Okay. And don't, after I tell you this, I don't want people saying, well, that's not going to help me now. No, it's going to help you now because you're going to be building for your future and you're going to be planning and really future-proofing your business, all right? And that is building online assets. And what I mean by that is traffic assets and product assets, okay? So Everyone thinks of products as physical products. It doesn't mean that it has to be. It can be a digital product. It can be a digital ebook. It can be a Kindle book. It could be a course. It could be an affiliate course or an affiliate product that you promote that someone else has created. Like you can find them on ClickBank. Go there, check out your industry, see if there's something available. So there's ways for you to add products, which will also give you diversification. So if this happened, imagine this right now, let's say that you have a couple of hero products. I call them hero products that are doing really well on Amazon for you. And now this happened and you're like, oh my gosh. But imagine if you had other things going on in your business that were bringing in revenue, such as an affiliate product that you promote, or maybe it's ad revenue from a network like Mediavine or AdThrive or even AdSense. So all of these things are ways that you can diversify and add assets to your business. And that's really what I'm talking about here. The other thing is, and I can go on and on and on for that number 3. Number 4 is building an email list. If I hear one more person say that email list building is dead, I'm gonna scream. All right, because I'll give you an example. We've been building lists for years, okay? And I've been building them all the way back in my photography days, brick and mortar. And I was building it by just collecting an email address when they would come in the studio. I would have them write it down on their onboarding, paperwork, and I would enter it in myself into the computer, into Outlook Express. And then I would blind copy my entire list. So this way here, not everyone would see everyone's email. Now they have autoresponders, and I started with Aweber, and I played with MailChimp, and then I played with ActiveCampaign, and then I played with ClickFunnels, and then I SendGrid, and all of them, right? And now I've settled on ConvertKit. That's mine of choice. But I was sending out emails to my list in photography all the way back in, let's see here. That's late 90s, early 2000s. All right. So crazy, right? Now, it's evolved. But here's the deal. People are saying no one checks their email anymore. No one pays attention to that. Well, let me ask you, do you still read your email? And I bet you if I asked a room of 100 people, I bet you 80% of those people, and again, it's going to depend on your demographic. Teenagers are probably not going to be checking their email as much as someone that's in their mid to late 20s that maybe has a job already and is needing an email address. But most people over 30 are checking email. And a lot of times it's daily, like multiple times through the day as well. But here's a little example for you. And I've got a bunch, but I'm not going to go into them. There's a brand that I talk a lot about that we've been building now for about 3 years. And we followed this whole building a brand process that we talk about in my Brand Creators Academy and inside of the playbook, and all of those things that you guys have been hearing me talk about here on the show. And so this past week, when this crisis is going on, right, I was still emailing my list. And you would say, like, Scott, but do you really want to email your list at a time like this? You don't want to bother them. I mean, they're going through a tough time. No, now is the time that you want to be emailing them and you want to be letting them know that you're thinking about them and that you're there and that you are, you're feeling it as they are. This here is where you can rise above everyone else, because everyone else, they're just sending out promotions after promotions after promotions, right? And they have to stop, or they want to stop because they're like, all I'm doing is sending promotions. I don't want to promote right now, which I think you can actually promote right now and do it in a ethical and in a good way that you're also benefiting them. We actually have done that in the past week here. But let me just give you some statistics here. We sent an email to 35,500 people. And out of that email, and I do a 2-part process. You guys have probably heard me talk about it. If you haven't, I'll give it to you here real quick. We send an email out, and I send 3 emails a week, by the way. So I send out, to the brand, I do Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, or sometimes I'll go Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And so I send the email out, I wait 24 hours, and then I send to the unopens. If the only thing you get from this episode right now, and I'm going to say this over and over again, you need to send to the unopens. You have to. So let me just actually share a little story, and you'll see how this is actually really exciting and how powerful it is sending email, all right? So we have a list of about 35,500-ish. It changes every day. Some days we get 30 30 to 50 new emails, and then we get some unsubscribed. So it's right around 35,500-ish. So anyway, we send out an email, and generally I'm sending out emails 3 times a week: Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. And then what we'll do is we'll send that email out, and on that first email, we are typically getting within 24 hours anywhere between 14 and 16%, sometimes a little higher, sometimes a little lower, but that's about the average. Now, the average in the email marketing world, that's actually kind of high. I've heard people say 8%, 10%, so we're actually above average there. But here's where people, they don't take advantage of sending to the unopens. We send every single email 24 hours later to people that have not opened the email. They might have scanned their inbox, might have been busy, they didn't actually open it, or maybe they never seen it because their inbox was just piled with a whole bunch of new messages. So we'll resend that the next day in 24 hours after we send the first email, and we always see an uptick of about 5 to 8% additional that we would have not gotten. So to me, that's one extra step that is so huge to get in front of your market. So if you're not doing that, do that. And what's that equate to? Well, let me just give you this. 2,230 people clicked on the email after they opened it. Okay, so imagine writing up an email. It took me like 15 minutes to put together an email, probably a lot quicker for you because you're probably a better writer than me, but wrote an email and then I pushed send. And then I waited 24 hours. I went into the, resend to unopens in ConvertKit, changed my title just a little bit, boom, and went ahead and sent it, and that's it. Okay. And I repeat that process every single time. So is email dead? Absolutely not. Are kids checking email as much as adults? Probably not. That's probably not your market. If it is, well, then you might not want to really lean on email marketing as much as I do. All right. But I can just say, I've seen a lot of different markets that this applies. A lot more than not. Let's just put it that way. All right. So that is number 3, is building that email list, but really using that email list. And okay, before I even move on, if you do not send emails right now because we're in this crisis to your email, you need to start. Okay, you need to do that. And don't do it in a sleazy way. Don't do it in a way that you're just asking for something. Do it to just check in with them. Hey, how are you doing during this whole crisis? And then maybe give them something to either entertain themselves or a fun project if your product lends itself to that, or if your market lends itself to it. Or here's an example. Hey, I just wanted to reach out to you, and I wanted to give you a couple of tips to go out there and catch a few more bass this week, seeing that we're all quarantined. This way here, you can get out there and have some fun and maybe just take your mind off of it. And then you could put in the PS, and one little surprise here I've got for all of my bass fishing fanatics. We're offering $5 off our bass fishing lure ultimate kit or something like that. It's like, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. So that's email marketing. You can tell I can go on for days on that. All right, let's move on. So moving on to number 5, and that is very similar to building the email list, or what we can do with the email list is we want to connect with our market. And we're going to do this through email, but if you don't have an email list, do it through social, do it through Facebook, do it through Instagram, whatever you are using as that channel. Use it and connect and let people know that you are here. You're feeling the same things that they're feeling. This is the time to be real, to be transparent, and to really connect with your market. So that's number 5. I kind of already talked a lot about that in 4. So let's just move on to number 6. When I hear people say, don't make offers during the crisis, don't make offers, you're going to upset people. Yeah, if you just hammer them with a promotion after a promotion, sure you are. And if you don't have any compassion for what's going on, if you ignore what's going on, then yeah, that would be not a good move. All right. So don't do that. But what you can do, and I just kind of said what we had done, I gave you a little bit of an example there. It's kind of like, hey, I wanted to check in, see how everything's going, and I wanted to give you something that you can do right now. Maybe it's a resource, maybe it's a tip, maybe you sell games for kids and you're going to offer to, give them a free at home one that they can print out, whatever, right? Show up, be valuable. And then we drop a little PS offer and just say, hey, we got a little surprise for you this week. Because we're going through this whole crisis and everything, we wanted to take $5 off of our ultimate fishing lure kit. So this way here you can get out there and do some more fishing. And this way here, you can enjoy yourself, but also take your mind off of this bad situation that we're in. Something like that. Again, do a better job than that, but you get the idea, right? We're coming at it at a different angle, and we're not ignoring the situation. And we're not just driving people to an offer and putting all kinds of pressure on them. It's not what we're doing. We're just making it available. Let me give you an example. If you sell guitars, should you stop selling guitars right now? If you sell, let's say guitar strings or stands, should you stop selling them to that market? No. If you are a dog trainer and you sell dog leashes, should you stop doing that? No. Right? I'll give you another example. This is an in-person example. My daughter takes piano lessons. Her piano teacher said, we're going to do virtual piano lessons. We're not going to say, we're just going to stay home and not talk about anything and we're not going to do anything. No, you're going to be creative with it and you're going to still make offers. Okay? But just do it in a non-sleazy way. You'll know if it's a sleazy way or not. You know how you feel about it, right? So just be smart about it. Use common sense. So that's number 6, okay? Don't stop making offers. And then number 7, and this is where you're going to do a little bit of a self-audit on your business and on your life. Where are the holes, right? Imagine having a bucket that you use on a regular basis, and you use it for, maybe it's rain coming off the roof and you use it to go water your flowers. And normally, in the beginning, it would all the way get full, right? But then it started to get some holes in it because it just got old. Maybe it was dry rot from the sun, whatever. You're going to understand the idea here in a minute. So let's say, for example, you get some holes at the top of that bucket, but you don't realize it if you don't get a lot of rain. You get a lot of rain, water comes up, you start to see those holes, right? So that's what we're talking about here. You didn't see these holes, or you did see the holes, but you ignored them because you didn't have that rainfall. But right now, we've got the rainfall. We've got the holes. Let this be a wake-up call for you to see those holes and then identify them and then move forward to fix those holes in your business. That's what we want to do here. Take advantage of this time. And I don't mean take advantage in a negative way. I mean, look at it as a way for you to grow. Just like what I talk about here in the book, the Take Action Effect, this is one of those moments. This is one of those moments that's going to affect the rest of your business because you're being, your feet are to the fire. You're being alerted that you need to, right? And this is a chance for you to grow. Is it going to be easy? No. Is it going to be uncomfortable? Probably. But a lot of times when you go through these things, and I said this in the beginning, this is a growth moment for you, right? So you're going to get through it, but you got to ask the right questions. What do I need to do to make my business stronger for when another crisis or bad thing happens, I'm able to be better prepared, right? That's what I want you to do here. Look at this as an opportunity for you to build a stronger, more future-proof business. All right. So hopefully that has helped you. Do me a favor. If you have a question or a comment, leave it down below. Let me know what you think. And also, if you have any questions just about building your business, building your brand, I'm more than happy to answer them. This is normally an Ask Scott session. Today, I've turned it around a little bit because I wanted to address this and I wanted you to understand how you can maintain and grow your business and really make it thrive at a time of crisis like we're in right now. All right, guys. So that is it. That is going to wrap it up. As always, remember, I'm here for you. I believe in you and I am rooting for you, but you have to, come on, say it with me, say it loud, say it proud, take action. Have an awesome, amazing day. And I'll see you right back here on the next episode. Now go get them. Boom, boom.